How do those two things align?
Is testing the premise different from being the devil's advocate?
Yes, yes, to
Exactly.
me, yes, it is. Yes, to me, they are
Let me.
totally different things. Totally.
Okay.
Devil's advocate is advocating for the devil just to ask questions, right? Testing the premise is literally being like, wait, the premise you're saying is this. This is what I understand. So wait, if
So
this
it's
is the
not
premise from
disproving
what I
it.
understand, pardon?
So it's when you test the premise, you're not trying to disprove it. You're trying
No,
to
no.
understand it.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
testing the premise, the point of it is for your own like
To understand.
comprehension.
Yeah,
Whereas
it's not to
devil's
be the devil's
advocate
advocate and just to be
is
mean and like
literally to
to
advocate
play
for
with
the
people's
devil.
emotions. No. It's to understand and be like, wait, I was taught this. You're telling me this.
Miyaki has something to add. I'm hearing you. I have a response, I think, but I'm still
Okay,
processing.
so first of all, I would like to ask Hope a question. Do you approach, especially when people are speaking about things and like liberation, because liberation is not just a debate, right? Like when people are speaking about, let's say, misogyny and all these other topics, they're not just topics, right? So are you, if
Mm-hmm.
you come to a place where people are speaking about those things and you approach it as like a quote unquote intellectual and you're just over here trying to exchange viewpoints, then
That's not what I do, but okay.
personally, no, listen, like, but personally, me as a person, I will take offense to that because, like, when let's say someone is saying that this system harms people in this way, like it's plain and simple. Like this system that has taught you this harms people in this way, and you play not even devil's advocate, but you question the person who has been harmed by these systems, right? And you're like, oh, but I've been taught this by this system. Then how are you right? Like, what do you expect? The person who has, like, it's like if it's like if a person who believes what colonists and colonizers have said their entire life, and then someone who understands how the colonists and how those systems affect them said that, hey, this is how we abolish these systems. This is how we liberate ourselves. And you
You
come
cut
into
for
the
a bit, babe.
discussion. Yeah.
You cut for a bit, Milwaukee. You cut for a bit. Just do that
Oh,
last.
okay. What I'm saying is, if a discussion is happening, if colonized people are having a discussion about systems of oppression, right? And it's not a discussion, it's like, I don't want to use discussion because people go to debate, but like when people are talking about these systems and liberations and their lived experiences, right? And you come into the space, not with a lived experience, right? You come, and not with a lived experience, but you come into a space and you start speaking. One, you don't have the lived experience, all you're here to do is kind of like exchange viewpoints, right? Like, I know you're a colonized person. I'm just giving an example. Please listen. Hope, listen. Listen. What I'm saying is, if you come into a space, right, and people are speaking from their lived experience, right, and your only point, the thing that you're bringing to the table is questioning why they think that way after after they've taken their time to teach you and speak, and they're just speaking about, this is my lived experience with this system, this is how this system affects me, and your question is, okay, but I've learned this in school, right?
Like you're
So
bringing the problem to the table that's telling me
exa-
that the problem is hurting me. You're bringing it
yeah,
back. And I think
yeah.
that, sorry,
Yeah,
Mia.
that will make anyone hostile, because like when we are having these conversations, whatever conversation it is, for most of us, it's not just a fucking debate. Like these
It's
lives are not
not.
debate. It's real life. So when you come into like spaces, right, and you're playing devil's advocate and you're taking that opportunity to kind of like be like, oh, what about this? It's not, listen. That's it. If you don't have a lived experience, just fucking listen.
May I counter, please?
Yeah,
Because
can
oh
we
my
wrap
gosh,
it up
wow.
though?
I would love to counter. So here are my list of counters. Number one, I am a colonized person. Number two, It is my lived experience. Literally, it is my lived experience. Number 3, I have said this multiple times. I am not playing devil's advocate. I'm not. And here is what my issue is with what is becoming of TikTok, which is a real thing. And I'm going to call it out whether I'm popular for saying it or not. I'm going to say it, right? Where here are people who have a lived experience that is real, that people should be hearing. But what ends up happening is here are people that are going to come in, that are going to be watching, that are going to be listening, that are going to be learning from you guys, where it can actually make a difference. But when it becomes a situation where now, if people who are also living that experience, who are like, oh, wait, I was taught this, let's find a way to like understand each other. And it's like, no, absolutely not. Immediately, no. You cannot have that opinion.
This whole thing as a fucking debate, and for most of us, it's not a debate, and for most of us, it's not a fucking debate.
No, ma'am, I let you speak. Ma'am, I let you speak. You can type in the comments. I let you speak. Let me finish. Right? If you're going to come through and you're going to be like, no, you can't say that.
ल 2000 फलो पुग्नु बजिगिरियो 1700 पुगिसक्यो
Forward as like us as a diaspora, or do you want to be like, this is what I believe, if you don't believe it exactly as I believe it, you're out, you're gaslighting, as Gugu just said I'm currently doing allegedly.
I said it's giving. It's giving. That as in it, that's the energy that you're tapping into. But I do want to say this, and this will be my final thoughts, because Selo did say that she wants to be done with the live. When it comes to having conversations that we are having, these hectically traumatizing and painful conversations that we need to have about Black pain, the Black community, your intention versus the impact of your decisions or the things that you do, those need to be weighed against each other. And despite the intention, you need to also look at the impact. And that's something that I live by a lot, which is why I'm very huge into protecting certain spaces, and why I don't allow certain narratives, why I don't allow certain perspectives, and why I also don't allow certain approaches of people, because there's impact, and the impact is my community. If we have a conversation like we're having today about freeing the community and freeing and liberating Black women, I can't exactly make a space or open it up to have conversations with people that want to test premises. I don't know if you understand what I mean by that. Your intention was to have a conversation and to test a premise and to have an exchange. But the impact is what happens to people who are listening to us have this exchange. Because you say you are not disagreeing with us, but look at the comments of the Black women and how you're making them feel. That's the impact of what you're doing.
Or the bad people who feel validated in the comments.
Despite your intention, look at the impact. Look at who is being affected by what you're saying. Look at what they are saying. So for me, as a person who fiercely protects Black women, if I'm saying things and it's Black women in the comments saying stuff like this about me, I'm pausing to reflect, because that's who I'm trying to protect. And if they are the ones that are leveling any form of, my sister, please double check this. My sister, this is looking like this. Hey, yo, are you sure? I have to double check what I'm saying. If I still stand in the mud of what I'm saying, then I'm going to call it out. But if I don't, then I'm going to change my perspective. But I will not be in any situation or in any conversation where Black women are typing what they are typing in this comment section about me. I do not and will not put myself in that type of situation, because I understand the impact of what has been done. I understand the impact of my platform. I understand the impact of my words. And no matter what leaves my mouth, I always have to be circumspect about who hears it. And who hears it also defines who gets impacted by as well. If black men are in the comments screaming that I am a whatever, I will not care. I will not care. But if it is black women that are telling me that you are not listening to me, I'm going to stop and I'm going to pause. Because despite my intention, the impact is adverse. So if my impact is adverse and my intention was honorable, the impact wipes out my intention. If my intention was honorable and my impact is honorable, they both work together. If those two do not agree, I need to assess. So it's really, really, really important that when we have conversations, especially as a black community, we are already so vulnerable. We are already so misrepresented. We are already so suffocated. So when we engage each other on these types of topics, we have to do so very, 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 with so much, we have to tread so carefully with how we have these conversations. And we always have to be so mindful of who we are having this conversation with. So that's for me, on my part, intent versus impact. Because as much as you are saying that that's not what you are doing, the impact is Miwaki's reaction and those of the comment section. Do you get me? That's all I was going to say. I'm going to, where's Bantu woman?
She's up there.
I can't
I
see
want to wrap up
anymore. I can't
She's
see
still
anything.
here.
I only see
She's
my
still
face.
here.
I only see my face
Yeah,
and your face.
I'm here.
Everyone else's face is blurred on my side. I don't know if I need to drop down and come back or what.
Yeah,
Or just
Google can
drop
drop down. We ending this live right now. I'm letting Tato say.
Hi.
All right, then I'm going to drop. Love y'all.
Okay,
May I
bye.
counter before the end
Hola.
of the live, please?
Okay, cool. Okay, Hope. What? Sorry, Hope, what did you say?
I was just asking if I may counter before the end of the live, please.
Okay. Tato?
Sure. Sharp. It's funny, there's a counter, it's like it's a debate. We're talking about black pain, black women's pain, black people's pain, but it seems like a debate. We hear someone saying counter, we hear someone centering themselves. They don't care what we have to say about them. Then fine, why are they here in the first place? And I heard her saying something like, why not we give space to people who maybe we don't agree with or who want to do better or something. If you want to do better, just listen. You don't have to come up with, no, my lived experience is like this. Simple example. Silwani, if I take maybe, sorry to make this because I'm a guy, I know it's a bit sensitive. If I take Silwani, maybe you have been raped before, ne? And I take your rapist and say you should be in the same room with them, talk to them. Would you do that? Do you feel, Uguti, when you say, fuck you, Tato, I don't want to listen to this rapist, are you wrong for that? And I should look at you differently saying, why don't you want to talk with them? Maybe they have changed. Maybe you don't want to. You're protecting yourself.
Say great.
So,
I'm hearing you.
yeah,
fully.
sorry.
Hey,
For
Tato.
me, it's all about centering themselves. That's like now, Hope, you centering yourself. You don't even care what other people say. It's all about your lived experience. What about all the other people's experience? Their lived experience. Do you care?
Yes.
Seriously, do you?
Yes.
I doubt it.
That's all I
what
have
you
to
think.
say. That's not true. Okay, so okay.
Thanks, Tato.
So here's
I'm
why I
hearing
would like to
agree.
counter, because I feel as though a lot of people are saying things. So I want to clarify a couple of things. Number one, of course I care. I'm listening to the conversation, right? I'm engaged with the conversation. When I'm responding, I'm directly responding to what is being said. I'm not just here to argue and be combative, blah, blah, blah. That's literally not why I'm here. And for Tato to give the explanation of a rapist, really, Tato? You are literally saying what I'm saying is comparative to a rapist? When in reality, I'm doing something.
I'm making an
that is
example.
not.
If
Hold
you're
up,
listening,
Tato. I'm
if
still
you're really
speaking.
listening.
Tato, hold up, Tato. I'll let you speak. Let me see. Hold up. What I'm doing is not a very popular thing to be doing in this time in history. It's not a popular
Nobody
thing to be
needs
doing.
it. Nobody
Hold up,
needs
I'm
it.
trying to
You're not
speak.
being
Just let me speak.
helpful.
Enjoy it.
Let me
You
speak.
enjoy
Let
it.
me
That's
speak.
it. You're
Let me
centering
speak.
yourself. You
Let me
enjoy it.
speak.
You enjoy.
Let
Why
me
are you here?
speak.
Why are you here?
Let me speak.
Why are you
Let
here?
me
So that you
speak.
cannot be popular. So that you cannot
Okay.
be popular.
Guys,
Aye, man. You enjoy it.
Okay.
It's like you revel in it so that people can say you're not popular. And after you say, I don't care what people say, I hold an unpopular opinion.
This is pick me behavior.
You're hurting people with your words and you don't care. And you say you're listening.
guys, I'm coming back then. If this is not done, Hope.
I just want to make my point, but nobody's allowing me to land.
I'm going to allow you, but I want you to first tell me what you've heard everyone say to you.
Yes, I would be very happy. Okay, so I'll go through what everybody said. So I'll start off with basically the general understanding is like, hey, Hope, you might feel as though you have good intentions. You might feel as though the way that you're going about doing it is well intended and you're hyper focused on that. That's not actually what's going on, because what you're actually saying and what you're actively doing is extremely harmful. You are using words that are harming how it started. And then it moved on to, no, actually, Hope, you want to be harmful. You understand that you're being harmful and you actually want that. You like it. You like being the villain. You like being the harmful person in the community. You enjoy stirring the pot and triggering people in a harmful way. And then it moved on to, oh, actually, Hope, you are so self-centered, you can't even hear what anybody else is saying. You are centering yourself. You only want to speak to respond. You're not listening and engaging with what we are actually saying. You are dismissing where our actual pain points are, and you're just hyper focusing on what you think.
So, okay. So the first bit of what you just explained is basically what Google was saying: impact versus intent type thing.
I just went through the different stages.
Hey, yeah. Which the first part, fine. I'm fine with that. I think you're also fine with that. Are you? Okay. So you understand that impact matters more than intent.
Agree.
You understand it, not agree. I don't know if you agree, but
No, I understand and agree. I understand and agree.
Okay. Sharp. Everything after that is basically you being reflected as someone who's gaslighting us, basically.
Correct.
And you don't think you're doing that.
No.
So Tato used your words in a way that the whole thing of not wanting, not your example of how what you're saying you're going through, people attacking you because you disagree with them.
Well, okay.
So if you disagree with a point that is factually correct, or you're posing questionings to something that is factually correct, and further than it being factually correct, you posing questions and poking at it further enables that problem to continue in society. Nah?
Well, see, hold up, Selo. This is where the issue is coming in. That's where my actual, I'm glad we're going through this point by point, because now I can come in and be like, no, this is where my point of contention is. And this is where I keep coming in with my point of contention, right? Because my point of contention is when it comes down to what are the issues in society, it's not as black and white for me personally. For me, there's a lot of nuance and there's a lot of ways that nuance is expressed for multiple people. And what I have learned in my career, in my work and everything I've seen in my life is that when we ignore that nuance, that's how we leave behind a lot of people in the Black community. That is how most of the toxic issues that happen in the Black community continue. And people may come at me and be like, oh, you're gaslighting, you're doing this, you're doing that, blah,
Can
blah,
you give
blah.
me
But
an
in reality,
example
I'm speaking. Okay, I'll
of
give you
the
an example.
nuance?
Yes, I would love to give an example. Right. So an example for me is women who are raped are automatically the victim. Let me give the most controversial example. Women who are raped are automatically the victim. Then the same person will
Hope,
turn
I'm
around
sorry.
later.
That's not
I need
up for
another
debate.
one.
Fuck you. Bye.
That's not up for debate.
Wait, hold
I need
up.
another one.
Can
I
I
need
just finish?
another
Can I just
example.
finish?
Yeah, use
Please,
another
can I finish?
example.
No.
Use
Please,
another
may I
example.
finish?
Can't.
Use
care.
Please,
We
another
may
don't
I
care.
finish?
Triggering.
No,
We don't
use
It's
care.
not
If
another
I
worth
can't
it.
finish,
example.
then what's
We
the
don't
point?
care.
Because I
Hope, do
agree.
you wait?
If I can't
listen.
finish, then what's
Can
the
you
point?
hear
Because I
me?
agree
Can I
with
just
that.
say this to you and hear what you have to say in response? Do you think you proving the point is more important? Wow, she's gone. She's gone.
Thank
Her
God.
proving the point is more important than triggering people.
Imagine.
That's
Imagine.
no. Sorry, I'm sorry.
I don't care
I
for her
tried.
point.
I
I honestly
tried.
do not care for her point. And I cannot even elaborate how much I don't fucking care for her point. Because a lot of intellectuals, and I'm putting quotations on this, a lot of people who engage with academia fully, right? Like with colonial academia fully, to them, all this is an exchange of fucking viewpoints. Right? That's it to them. And that harms us in so many ways, and leaves a lot of us triggered so that they can have, like for them, it's a debate. Like for them, it's high school or like uni all over again. It's a debate for them. And that's so harmful because like you're telling people to prove their point and like asking for all these other things just because. And asking and having the audacity to ask, oh, in all cases, is a rape victim a Are you serious? Are you serious? And you're asking that after you've claimed that you believe that everybody in the panel, at least half of the panel, was raped, and you're asking that to that same panel, to someone who opened up about their experience. You're asking that? You're asking that? I'm so sorry, Gogo. I'm so sorry. I'm honestly so sorry. Like honestly, I'm a Nyeri woman, and for me, it's on site. It's throwing hands throughout. Hope it's on fucking site.
And this is why I really like emphasizing intention versus impact.
She agreed
Impact.
with that.
For me, impact sometimes, not even sometimes, for me, impact really does define the intention. And saying things for the sake of being controversial to prove a point. Like someone made a false equivalent saying that we are intentionally triggering men. Where was it? She said I read someone in the comments that like that's what we have been doing all day, triggering men to get a response from them, and now we are treating Hope the way that we had. I know Hope, and I know of her intentions, and I've seen a lot of her content, and I've seen her in other spaces.
Me too.
And this was very, very different from how I usually engage with her. And I just feel like a lot has been said, and we should just give that a bit of time to diffuse and just breathe that out for me, because what I can't unhear is how rape victims aren't automatically victim. I can't unhear that. it's actually the reason I didn't. You know what?
Guys, I love you. Thank you for being here. I'm sorry that some of you were triggered. I know Hope. I actually liked her. And I think it showed because I was trying to get her. And it's just not happening. Yeah, but I gotta go now. This is it for me. Thank you so much for all being.
Good. Love you, girl. We'll check you. Have fun. Hey.
Bye.
Bye.
Ustaz la godiko. Ustaz.
Masa balik gua lele.
Tala guriko.
Iman do bala. Iman do bala.
Sengkatero ibo sarala.
मान्छेको भिडियो टिकटकमा पोस्ट हानिदिनु जे पर्ला पर्ला ल यहाँ हेर्नु अरू मान्छे रवि लेख्न नछुटाउनु होला